Hey all, Alex here at your home of the Music Deep Dive, and today it is time for a review of the book by Mark Clague released on the 14th of June 2022. Oh Say Can You Hear? A cultural biography of the Star-Spangled Banner. Mark Clague is a professor at the University of Michigan. He was the associate dean of undergraduate affairs for a while. Initially a bassoonist by trade, played with a few orchestras in that area. And his research is kind of all over the place. There was a general focus on the idea of American specific music, a very traditionally American thing. So when you think of the idea of sacred harp singing, that's an area that his research focuses on, as well as military bands, and, well, the Star Spangled Banner, which, I mean, is as quintessentially American as you can get in some ways. Although, of course, one of the first things that is unpacked in this book is the creation of the anthem and how the actual melody was inherited from a melody that was about, I think, about 50 years old at that point, something that was imported from England. And yeah, this is a review where I actually don't have a whole lot to say, just because the packaging of this and the advertising of this is exactly what you get. The entire point of what Clague is doing here is to focus on unpacking these different aspects of the Star Spangled Banner, both as far as its actual creation. He gets into the life story of Francis Scott Key a little bit, and also about how the original melody was imported into America and how it was already very well known when the lyrics of the Star Spangled Banner were written. And then also talking about the sort of like spread of the anthem, because keep in mind, it wasn't until the 1930s, I believe it was 1931, when the Star Spangled Banner was made America's national anthem. And seeing how pervasive it already was in American culture at that time, and how it spread, and how the amount of controversies that it drew and reactions to it drew, even before it was the national anthem, is very interesting. This is an important book to read in today's day and age, and it was an important book, I think, to write in the year 2022, because, of course, we're only a few years removed from a lot of controversy surrounding the national anthem, what it represents, especially in the context of the Black Lives Matter movement, protests led by professional sports figures like Colin Kaepernick. And I appreciate that this book grapples with that in a significant way, and also emphasizes the point that this is nothing new under the sun. You see that in, from decades beyond that, other figures, taking a stand, refusing to stand, I suppose, for the national anthem by saying that it does not represent them, it does not represent their culture, because of what the United States has done to them. It's interesting to kind of put it in that sort of historical context. I appreciate that Clague does that. I also appreciate how he approaches the topic of translation, and how the banner has been translated into different languages, and how that translation and how different interpretations have also caused controversy in their own ways. He goes through a few very famously controversial performances of national anthems. Aretha Franklin, Jose Feliciano, um, all sorts of figures, and kind of dissects what made their performances controversial. Stravinsky being another one, of course, from the 40s. And, unpacks the controversy of those performances, but justifies them in an artistic sense. And I appreciate that, because you're acknowledging the reaction, and you're acknowledging how these performances were different enough from the traditional vein to cause that anger. But you're also saying, here's the merit. Here's what they were going for. And here's why, in some cases, these performances have held up. So it's very interesting. Although I don't think he has as many good things to say about Roseanne Barr's performance of the national anthem. He does talk about that at one point. So yeah, I would not say that this is a completely like remarkable book in the sense that it didn't knock my socks off. For the most part, what you expect is what you get, and I think he's a good enough writer, a very strong historian to where I would recommend this book. But I will say it does sort of allow you to think of different, it allows you to approach the issue, quote unquote, of the Star Spangled Banner from a few different angles than I think you're normally used to. And I appreciate that. So check it out. It's still on shelves. I don't know if they've released a paperback version of it yet since it's still pretty new, but give it a read. Educate yourself on the national anthem of the United States and all the pros and cons and all the discourse with a capital D that has come with it. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more reviews are to come. Tell a friend as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time right here at your home of the Music Deep Dive.